Oh yes, legends, how's everybody doing? Hope you're doing great today. Let's analyze the situation all together for the price of Bitcoin. Let's go. Make sure to smash up that like button if you do enjoy the content. And I've been naughty today, guys. I have been naughty, and I need to talk about it with someone. So it needs to be talked about with you guys. Okay, and that is eating some chocolate, guys. Cadbury's Dairy Milk. It had to be said. That's what I've eaten, guys. Not good. This is poison for your body, but it tastes so good. Man, I felt like some chocolate today. Anyway, let's dive in to say hello to the beautiful community. We'll be analyzing the situation here for the price of Bitcoin and discussing a few scenarios. Mainly, we're going to zoom in on the lower time frame today, guys. Okay, we're going to be zooming in here on the 1 hour 15-minute time frame to discuss this range. Okay, local levels of opportunity and some different scenarios. And I'm just going to give a quick hello here to the legends inside of the community. Okay, much love to everybody. A Trader, thanks for joining the stream. Much appreciated. Much love to you. Hope you're doing great. Hope everybody's doing great here, really. Smash the like button and got the long this morning. Now just watching the price action. Got the long this morning, says Milo. I assume you would be inside of the trading community because we did get a bounce today from a daily level. We were ready for this level. It is a bit of a sniper. Sometimes this level can get choppy. You can create some double, local, triple bottoms here. But you have... Sometimes when you have a daily level, you just need to take the shots, okay? And we got a significant bounce. We were discussing this inside of the trading community early this morning. Shout out to Devil, because Devil woke up early this morning talking about that level as well, okay? Daily level to take into consideration, followed by my analysis, which we are talking about many different scenarios that could happen. And this was the main only trade long setup that we had today, hitting that daily level, analyzing the Elliott wave theory, projections, which is a little bounce, okay, because this could be a sideways corrective structure, but ultimately there is a bigger bounce that could actually take out the highs at 68.4k. That is right, the highs that we created yesterday. An entry point is that $65,900 right at that daily level that was shared inside of the trading community. Of course, that's why here we had in the comment section, I did take the long here from Milo Trading. I assume maybe he's not in the trading community, but overall learned with that daily level here on YouTube and some many different setups. If you're not in the trading community, super simple to access, guys. Just send me a DM. You get a few months for free if you sign up throughout one of the exchanges. Of course, down below, send me a DM. I'll share the instructions. Let's continue here. Insta like, says Paolo. Nico Sopi, like smashed on the way in. Thank you very much, my man. Much love to you. Okay, let me know if you can hear me, if the volume's too loud or everything's fine. Hope you're doing good, man. I'm doing well. I'm doing actually pretty good. The start of the week, not too bad. Matt, how are you doing? Let's go, Nico. Joan is here. Hello, Andy and Legends. Joan, the absolute legend. Okay, he's a legend. He's talking about all of the scenarios at 9 a.m. 10 p.m., 4 in the morning. He is in the community absolutely banging with the updates, looking at many different Elliott wave scenarios and to take into consideration, of course. Regular flat, says Red. We can analyze a few scenarios. Much love, Bath Maria Vallejos. Let's go. Daniel Singleton, evening, distance music. Thanks for joining. Joseph, hello. Daniel Singleton, smash up the like button. People, smash it up, guys. It does help. Okay, we are in the bear market. People are losing interest. People don't like trading. It's risky. We know how to trade, guys. It's all about getting ready, staying calm, scenarios that we can expect. We got that beautiful bounce today to take as an intraday long setup, take most of the profits on this movement up. We can leave some open just in case we turn out to have a bullish move to the upside, which is possible. This is why the title of today and the thumbnail, bullish chance. Do we have a bullish chance? We do have a bullish chance, and it's always nice to talk about it if there is one. And I want to talk about it because I'm almost a perma bear, guys. You know that, right? We are looking for $60,000 All right, but we can't be only so bearish, right? As traders, we take both scenarios into consideration, especially when new information is getting developed, right? So this is something that I want to discuss throughout this range. That does look corrective, I have to say, but there is a bullish chance, and we are going to discuss it today, okay? Thank you very much for joining Distance Music. I had some really good scalp trades today, achieved my goals, okay? Day chilling now. Absolutely awesome. Distance Music, much love. Absolutely awesome. Hola, amigo. What happened to MSTR? I have no idea. I haven't checked the chart. Andy and Devil, that daily level was amazing for a scalp. Thanks for that. Much love. Alex, much love to you, my man. Let's talk about me being bad. Exactly. Not true. Real black chocolate is very healthy, actually. Yeah, that is true. Okay. I mean, having a little bit of chocolate is not that bad. But today I felt like having quite a bit of that chocolate bar. But it's done. I'm leaving that. I need to chuck it in the bin because if not, I'll finish the whole bar. I've been eating way too much junk food in the recent months, says Instock name. Love from India. It's been so long. I love Cadbury's. Cadbury's is one of the best. I actually like Galaxy a little bit more. None of that US, was it Hershey's or Hershey's or Feastables? None of that BS, guys. This is like the pure good stuff. This is the good quality stuff. I actually prefer Galaxy chocolate than Cadbury's, which is very, very good as well. Anyway, gonna send you a Wonka chocolate factory. Absolutely awesome. Alex Luciana. Also, spicy foods are addictive. Very much. I love spicy food. Hey, Andy and Legends. Philip, how are you doing? Nina. Oh, Andy, that chocolate is so addictive. Dairy milk is the best. One I can't keep away from the Ferrero Rocher. Oh yeah, also Ferrero Rocher is. I like Raffaello's as well. I like my sweeties, guys. A lot of people do, right? It's the addiction. I'm in the Telegram. Milo, absolutely awesome. There's the confirmation. Okay, guys, much love to everybody. CBM is in the house. Oh, we got Devil as well here. Chocolate Monster in the house, like tapped. Oh, today was the day. I mean, we're coming into, Easter. It's Easter Sunday, right? This week. End of the week. So, yeah, we need to eat our chocolates. But we need to, be careful. Be careful. We don't want to be sick. Shout out from Scotland. David, much love. Andy, you live in Cape Town? No, I am not in Cape Town. I'm in Spain. So, not in Cape Town, my man. Devils. I know Devils in South Africa. I'm not sure. I don't think he's in Cape Town, though. Hello, everyone. Hope all of you doing good. Suzanne, much love. Much love to you. Mr. Devil, good to see you. I can see CBM here, guys. If you don't know who CBM is, I'm sure you do already by now. But he's in somewhere here in the chat. Go and check out CBM Trader. He's absolute legend. Great content. Okay. Talks about news as well and is very, very good with a higher time frame chart. Make sure to check him out. Divine Hood is here. Much love to you, brother. Okay, it's time. It's time. Andy, got to try Triangle Chocolate Bar. Toblerone chocolate. Yeah, I know Toblerone. I know all my chocolates. I know all my chocolates. I know them all. So I do like chocolate a lot. He is in Johannesburg. I'm in Cape Town, says Richard. Awesome. Hey, Andy, showing up as always. The chocolates new. Haha, dairy milk a day keeps the bearish candles away. Exactly. Bull horse, much love. TA, please. Exactly. I knew. Come on, TA. That's enough comment section. All right. This ain't a show to read comment sections. We go sometimes to the comment section. Started off pretty strong here with the comment section. Sorry, guys. Pakistan in the house. Let's go. Suzanne, hoping for more. I got stopped out in profit, though. Okay. Hoping for more. Stopped out at take profit. So, yeah. Main trade of the day, which I got a little bit greedy because I added to this position ever so slightly because I thought we were going to actually, move out here in a bit of a wave 3, 4, and 5 and take out this high. However, we got a big rejection. However, still remaining in a bit of that long position, which was almost stopped out with that movement to the downside. But ultimately, most of the profits have been taken and just leaving a cheeky one just for the bullish case. A local short here is, for me, it's been difficult. I wanted a bit of exhaustion here for a local short. However, we might get something, but there's so many scenarios with this new information that we got in the last few hours. It would have been ideal here for a little bit of a double bottom, because there is an ABC flat scenario, and then move up maybe to take out the highs. But it's getting messy, it's getting choppy, and this could get, there's too many scenarios. Unfortunately, today was relatively easy. It was the only main long position. You know, I didn't have any other any long trade setup based on Elliott wave scenarios here, and this was the main setup of the day, just for a scalp long. Okay, you want to take profits on the way up, because it could slow down into this 67k region, because we might form a sideways corrective structure, which we're going to discuss here on the stream. But it could also be a wave 1, right, or wave A. ABC flat, take out the lows, bounce at the daily level. It could actually squeeze up to 68.6. And this scenario is not invalidated, I would say, but it's not looking great. So I'm going to start off with the higher time, lower, well, I mean, higher time frame is, we know the higher time frame. Bearish scenario is you have a finished corrective structure here in a WXY, a 3-wave corrective move. And right now we are discussing if this is a 1-2, and we have another 1 in 2. And, you know, this could be the sideways correction 1 and 2, which we need to talk about right now with the new information, because there might be a cheeky short to be taken potentially today. But the bearish scenario is literally 1-2, 1-2, the most aggressive one, form a lower high, and then break down in a wave 3, which in this case would be in the next coming days even. Right, finally get that wave 3 down, that breakdown, which is it looks kind of ready for the bearish case. However, there is bullish, there is another bearish scenario. However, that would be this being a wave 1 and forming an ABC flat. We discussed this yesterday, where we would be looking for multiple 1-2s, a wave 3, 4, and 5, right, throughout the next coming days, to form an ABC flat, sweep up liquidity at 72k, which is, it's a lot of liquidity that we do have up there. Something that I'm keeping an eye on, of course, but it might not come to fruition. But something that, naturally this would be a wave 2, just forming a big flat, very confusing, and then, a little bit confusing, as this would look bullish for most, but I would be interested in looking for shorts up here, right, after that liquidity grab, without a doubt. But we need that information, of course. If we do get up there, like really grinding to the upside, a wave 3 breakout, high volume, and then we get that choppiness, right, exhaustion into this territory, it would be a great opportunity once we get that information, which, if we're not on YouTube naturally creating that plan, the plan will be created inside of the trading community, okay? Just like the daily trading plan of today, which was looking for that long setup at the daily, nice bounce, nice movement of $1,500, which we can collect some profits. We take it as a day trade, because there's, the bearish option and the bullish one, which would be taking out the highs, okay? But most of the profits should have been taken with this internal bounce today on the bounce of the daily. So other scenarios that I'm taking into consideration, we'll zoom in right now on the 15-minute time frame. That's where we have the meat and potatoes, of course, and the action for the trades, local trading setups. But just considering bearish option, multiple 1-2, form a lower high, end up breaking down in a wave 3. We're very much aware of that. The larger one is the wave 1 ABC flat, okay? I would be so excited about this short, because I know what we're looking for. That will be, the plan will be created for that, of course, once the information is given. And the bullish option is that we have the diagonal, okay, which is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, leading diagonal in a wave 1, wave A. And what about a 3-wave move down? And we have a finished either wave 2 or wave B down here. And we are looking to take out 76k in the next couple of weeks. Naturally, we want to see, when, we could be starting multiple 1-2s, right? And then end up, with that 3rd wave move up, then 4 and 5. Longs do look attractive if we know where to get in safely, you know, I'm considering this scenario that it's a possible scenario, because I think there's much more people that are leaning bearish, such as myself, guys. I'm leaning more bearish. I think that we have a finished structure here, and regardless if it's 1 2 1 2 lower high and breakdown, it's either an ABC flat here and then down. I prefer the bearish options rather than the bullish ones. That's not going to avoid me to take longs. You know, naturally we talked about a long trade setup today. That, yeah, it's a day trade. Most of the profits have been taken on this. We'll leave a cheeky one just in case it wants to decide it breaks above 68.3k, which is the local highs of yesterday. So, you know, I am going to take longs if the opportunity is given, even though, right, I'm leaning more bearish. I am in a swing short from higher, but we just consider both scenarios. So chances to take out 76k, they are relatively low. Okay, the probabilities are not great for a leading diagonal. It's not very common for a wave 1 or wave A for a leading diagonal. So that already affects the probabilities. We're not, you know, extremely comfortable with this situation. However, there's the fractal. This looks so bearish. I think there's a lot of people leaning bearish, and obviously you have that gut feeling of, you know, let's take into consideration the bullish scenarios, because we know the bearish ones. I'm actually pretty bearish and looking for $60,000 in the next coming days, even, or even, you know, a couple of weeks, give or take. So we consider the bullish option. So right now, what we need to discuss is the movement down from this high at 76k and this local range. What possibilities do we have in this local range? And there's many, unfortunately. There is quite a few. So we need to break them down. Okay, as explained, this is either a ABC, right? We would be looking for something bullish on the formation here, or we do have a 1 2 1 2, a lower high on the formation, then the wave 3 breakdown. So other scenario is the ABC flat. Okay, so what is important is this range right over here, which is what we're going to discuss today. Mainly on the stream, we need to focus on this little range, which is unfortunately not going to be easy. Not going to be easy, because inside of the community today, it's all great when you have a few waves and a few scenarios from this low to the high. You can count an impulse. You can count an impulse. So it's either going to be an ABC flat, all right, or it's going to be the low here, a wave 1 or a wave A. With that said, you have this movement down, 3-wave confirmed structure here with the price action that we had today down here, invalidating a wave 4. So then naturally sweeping up these lows with that daily level becomes extremely attractive, because you have the possibility for a wave 1 or A, and you have the possibility of an ABC flat there to look for the bounce after sweeping up the low. So that's kind of easy information to get ready for this setup. But now with this bounce, with this retracement, you have multiple combinations right now, unfortunately. And as you have multiple combinations, it doesn't keep it easy for any local setup. So let's dive in right away with, let's say, the first bearish option. First bearish option would be, for me, a WXY, okay, where you have W in a flat. I'll go through that right away. Your wave X right over here, or over here if it were to be a solid flat, and a triangle formation. Triangle formation could even be finished right over here with this recent lower high. It can, but it just doesn't look great. So ABC flat here, bang, 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 right? To have your wave W. A 3-wave zigzag down, quick for your wave X, And right now you have a possibility of a cheeky running triangle here, which is not, these are really hard, you know, for me to get into a short here today. I mean, it's very, very difficult. You know, I was just saying to the community that I don't have any quick short here. You know, price is moving up, volume is kind of increasing. You know, I don't have a strategy here. I don't want to enter a short here and, you know, put stop loss here. It's too wide. Probabilities are not great. So it's, you know, this is a hard short. It is a hard short when you get that movement up with a bit of volume, realizing that you can take out these highs. So there's no quick short position for me here, unfortunately. With this scenario, flat, okay, for your wave W, wave X down, and a possible running triangle here, which running triangle means that your B wave takes out the start of your A wave, because a regular triangle would form a higher low. So that's possible right there. Boom, you take out the low of your B wave, you got your C wave here, your D wave right there, higher low, and now your little E wave. Believe it or not, we do have a triangle formation here, okay? And, you know, your E wave can be relatively small, which could mean that this would be the end of the correction, and the price ends up breaking down already in the next coming hours. So there is a chance. There is a chance, but I have to say, you know, going through the 5-minute time frame, if you were to take this short trade, you need to accept that your invalidation is this lower high, right? You treat it as so. Sometimes we want really nice symmetrical triangles, right, which are very easy to detect. But sometimes the triangle will have a, you know, big wave A, a big wave B, and then your C and D and E are like really, you know, really odd, right? Which is kind of the case here. You could fit in a finished triangle here, even though it doesn't look great. You've got your A wave, your B wave, C, D, and E. You know, if you wanted to take this short just for a massive breakdown, which would be the case, you would be expecting the price to, you know, start with your multiple 1-2s, right, and then just end up breaking down in the wave 3 and really rolling over here. It's not too symmetrical. It's not great. It's not an easy short trade, I have to say. If you want to get, you know, usually your pivots from a triangle do get to the 618 to the 0.88 Fibonacci. So if you take the start here of your A wave to the lower part of the B wave in this case, you know, golden pocket, almost 7-8. You know, this is the rejection for the C wave. You're not interested in the C wave or the D wave, really. You're interested in the E wave. You need the C wave and the D wave for the formation. E wave, just barely scratching the golden pocket, you would say, right? So if you are speculating on the E wave end of a triangle, this is your shorting range with your invalidation literally at the high of the C wave. If this were to be the triangle, of course, if this is coming to an end of a WXY sideways corrective structure, the good thing about this kind of short trade, it's not a scalp. This is like really looking for the breakdown to take out 64.9 and even going to lower prices. So it depends on how you take the trade, right? Sometimes we look for scalps, day trades. Today was a day trade scalp. We are aware that this could be a shallow bounce. You know, we can leave some open for the highs to be taken. And you go a little bit more aggressive maybe for this, because you understand that the bounce can be shallow. And for this one, though, for example, I don't need to go too crazy with what I'm risking here. Because if this were to be the end of this corrective structure, we would be looking for a significant breakdown, you know, not only to the lows at 65K, but even 64, 63 in the coming days. if this ends up being the last lower high. So the invalidation is shallow, and you don't need to risk, okay, a huge amount here just to realizing on the possible profit projection that you would have in the next coming days. Not the greatest, but it's definitely something that could be in, right? Realizing the possibility here, it could be in as the end of the triangle. Other scenario, of course, is, and we're talking about the bearish options right now, is instead of your wave X being here, it could actually be here. I mean, I don't like this as a flat, okay, ABC flat, because I don't like, this does look very three wavy. We got volume move down. It would have been, you know, if you do get a bit of choppiness down here, just like you got the choppiness from here, it would have looked like an impulse down, much better for an ABC. A C wave in a flat needs to be an impulse, and you got big volume, big candlestick down, okay, but no kind of 4-5 here, which makes it disturbing to count it as an impulse. But just for the sake of it, we're gonna, I don't like, it's a red flag already. This does look like a 3-waver instead of a 5-wave move down, because you're kind of missing 4-5s here in this little zone to label it as a wave C. So this is not great to label a wave X here on that ABC flat. I don't like this for a flat because of your C wave. But, you know, we obviously need to consider it. That would only potentially extend the possibility for a triangle. Of course, your triangle starts with the leg up that we just had today from that daily. So you're still looking for a triangle formation here for the next coming hours. If that were to be the case, if you are going to range here in the next coming hours, it's not about, you know, it's going to happen. You know, it's more of a, if it does happen, then I can be ready to potentially look for that short trade setup, right? Because right now, if we do, let's say, you know, you can even have a B wave right there. So let's say right now that this does continue throughout the next coming hours. It could be a very, very small triangle. You know, you have your wave A, wave B, you got a lower high here in the next coming hours, another higher low, and it squeezes a bit in a triangle structure. That's the moment that you would say, right, this is squeezing in a triangle. So naturally, what you would be looking for after creating that C wave, D wave, E wave, is look for the same scenario here and stop loss above the last lower high. And this is like for the breakdown. This is like to break down. So you don't need to go too crazy here with risk. Okay, it's a possible projection that could give you a 10-to-1 risk to reward, because you understand that if this ends up being the end of the correction, you know, if this is going to be a 1-2 and a 1-2, you know, the breakdown is going to be pretty aggressive, going well beyond below $65,000, right? 64, maybe 63, right? Maybe locally in the next coming days. So I understand that the projection would be decent here, and I don't need to go extremely heavy on this short, right? Because naturally, if you do take out that last lower high, that's the invalidation. You're out of the trade, and that's it, right? We'll look for another setup when we talk about risk management. So, you know, it's going to take some time. It's not easy. It would take a bit of time here to squeeze and have a little bit better of a triangle formation here, to really say, right, there is a triangle formation. You got ABC flat here in your W, another ABC flat, boom, boom, boom. You're looking for that triangle end to then roll over later on. It's going to take a bit of time. It needs to squeeze in a triangle here to consider that short trade setup. Regarding other bearish options, other bearish options, which we do have. We do have, of course, is forming a zigzag move to the upside. Right, you form a zigzag move up to the upside, taking out 68.3k. So there could be a short setup. I would prefer that high to be taken here. Because your wave W has been a flat, you have another flat here for your wave X. If wave W has been a flat, a zigzag can happen here in a sideways WXY. What you need to see here is a 5-wave move to the upside next, because on the lower time frame you do have a 5-wave move to the upside, which, you know, it's a bit of an extended wave 5 right there. As you can see, there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th wave. I thought this could be the 3rd wave, 4 and 5, and 4 and 5 continue here, then roll over. That was not the case. A bit of an aggressive move down here, but yeah, you literally have already a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an extended wave 5. So that could be your wave A. This has been too quick for your wave B, so you could have a bit of sideways momentum here. I would consider a double bottom from this low to give the bulls a chance. If we do claim this low, I'm going to consider a long trade setup here. I will consider a long setup at the 7/8 Fibonacci. It needs a reaction, of course. You need to move down. If it loses that level, no long. But if you tap the level and reclaim it with a kind of an SFP here, we could have an ABC formation. So a level that I'm paying attention here, 7/8 Fibonacci at 66.3. And that's giving the local bullish scenario an option, which is forming a zigzag move to the upside. Wave A, wave B, wave C right over here. You have a flat in W, a flat in X, zigzag up here to take those highs. And naturally, it's all about detecting the possible 5-wave structure in this territory, which brings the option for that short trade for an SFP of the highs. There's setups everywhere. There are setups everywhere. You just need to wait for the formation and, you know, either hit some of the levels. So I would consider a local long if we get a reaction at the 7/8 here. I'm happy to take that long if we do come down there, understanding the zigzag potential here. Or bullish case is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, it breaks out. Longs do, I'm super bearish, guys. And, you know, when I'm super bearish, I like looking for longs because, I mean, if the long options are there, I want to take them, of course, right? Just like the daily bounce today. You know, I'm going to take that long regardless if I'm super bearish and I'm looking for $60,000. You know, the longs will be taken. And there's the long setup that was mentioned today inside of the trading community. But I am higher time frame bearish. But what if the bulls turn out, right? They turn up and, you know, things start getting bullish, which I don't think it is. But who knows, right? If we got the long opportunities, I'll take them. For this scenario, I have to say we need to consider the levels of resistance naturally. This would be finishing a possible, you know, sideways WXY that is finishing your Y wave in a zigzag, right? It kind of takes out that high to sweep up some liquidity. And the most important levels of resistance as guidelines is the high. You break it, you maintain above it. Next level of resistance to watch is that range point of control right over here. And what I would need here is to detect that 5-wave move. Okay, the fifth wave is the one that I'm interested in looking for the rejection. Either an SFP from this high or either a failed breakout from this range point of control. Those are the two guidelines that I have to take the short. However, if the price were to come all the way up here with a, wave 1, wave 2, and then wave 3, and you just get volume increasing and breaking out here, then no shorts are going to be taken. It's important for the price to come up to this level and already form that rangy structure where we can label a wave 4. That's the moment that the price looks interesting for either, SFP from this high or a fail. It might stretch its legs, and that's the level of rejection at 68.9. However, from the higher low, wherever that is, if the price moves up, increasing volume, right, and it just starts breaking no little ranges for a wave 4, then I'm not going to do anything, right? Volume increasing into the levels, no wave 4s. That means that this could be more bullish than we thought, right? Wave 3 breakout, and then your wave 4 is formed here, and then boom, wave 5, and we end up going to 70k plus, right? So it's important to form that wave 4 before, right, hitting these levels, to consider these levels to take the short. Okay, so that's a little bit of, we create many plans here because, we can't just create one plan. We create many plans, either for shorts or for longs, and how we need to approach the price action to take that decision with very good risk management. Okay, manage your risk, guys. It only takes one mistake to burn an account. One mistake, guys. One mistake. You can be the best at analyzing, looking for setups, and have a great winning streak, right? And it takes one mistake, guys. The main reason why I talk about this so much is because I've been down that rabbit hole. I've been, creating these mistakes consistently for the first few years of trading, and I think everybody does. So always stay grounded. If you miss a trade, it doesn't matter. We will find something between today and tomorrow, which will be another setup, right? And this is like I think it was, I can't remember her name right now, but she's in the trading community, and she said, I did not take this long trade, right, which was planned, right, a few hours in advance, about the long setup at the daily. You have it, the plan is there, right? We give it, we share it, we give the text daily, what kind of pattern could be formed, exact level, how to execute it, how to take the profits. And there's I can't remember her name right now, but it doesn't matter, saying that I didn't take the long trade because I was kind of scared of this situation about bouncing from the daily because it was moving down aggressively into the level. These are sniper trades. They are sniper trades. They are very difficult. You need to be in front of the chart. You just need a sniper in. You can sniper in a little bit higher, but don't long here eventually. But they are a little bit of cheeky sniper trades. They're hard, you need to be in front of the chart to execute them. And somebody was pointing out in the community, I didn't take it because it just happened too fast. It doesn't matter. There's so many trades like this that I don't take. I talk about them and I don't even take them. And the main point here is, don't worry about it. It's just another trade. We're going to look for something either this evening or tomorrow morning. There will be something, right? There will be another high probability setup to be taken. And I have to say, with this range over here, very difficult entry for a short. I didn't short here. I didn't long here. This is a difficult environment at the moment where we're currently at. However, with that, with the information that we have at this moment, I like this to be a 5-wave move with an extended 5th wave, this move down is a little bit too fast to like sniper along, even though I think we bounced at the point of control of the range, if I'm honest with you here. Yeah, literally bounced today at the point of control of this range of the last few days. I mean, if you are feeling a bit snipey, you know, well, maybe this aggressive drop that we got today into the point of control of the last few days, it's an aggressive long. It is an aggressive long, right? But with this being the low, to try and grind here to the upside, it's a bit too fast if this is an impulse. So preferably, you know, because it is common to form an ABC, sweeping up that low again, I'm happy to execute a long position here if we do get it on the stream, because I want 5-wave up and I want a 3-wave down. So the first aggressive leg to get a long is very difficult unless you're sniping at that point of control as mentioned. So I understand that this could be a 3-wave formation on the correction, so it all depends on the reaction down here. And the 7-8 is the last chance here for the bulls. Literally, your invalidation is this low to consider a long. You know, who knows, it might come down here and then it moves up in the next coming hours. So I know there's a setup here. I know there could be a reaction, little liquidity grab here, and it's all about taking the action, because I understand it could be bullish, right? And I understand you got a 5-wave up, it might be a 3-wave down, so you could kind of double bottom from this low and just gently tap the 7-8 Fibonacci and get the reaction. So there is a sniper entry here to manage risk and be defensive, of course, just in case it turns out to be bearish, but it might be bullish. So for very, very local setup, I need this low to be taken. I mean, if it turns out to be a sideways WXY and that low is not taken, it's going to be difficult looking at the 5-minute, 3-minute time frame. It might not take out the low in the bullish case and it forms a sideways WXY, but then you're like going into the 1-minute time frame and analyzing this as a sideways correction, which I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do because there's too much noise on the 1 minute. But to keep it simple, I'm ready with a plan for a long. If you take out that low and get a reaction, you know, I would potentially sniper the 7-8 if you do manage to get above it and have a tight stop loss. I mean, this would be a projection to literally take out the highs, right? Get a move up here. I mean, for the bullish case, going through the bullish options here with the information that we have on the 15-minute, if this were to be the low and this move up were to be a wave 1 or a wave 8, which has the chance just because you can count a 5-wave move up here. If this were to be that ABC flat and we do have a possible impulsive move here, you know, what if this is wave 2 or B and this is just another small little wave 1 and a wave 2 on the formation, right? You know, what I would be, you know, you could be breaking out in a wave 3 here naturally in the next coming hours. So this is why, you know, looking at longs where you need to look for longs is without a doubt an option. It's an interesting range. It is a very interesting range because both scenarios fit for the bulls and bears. Naturally, the bulls don't want to lose that low that we formed at the daily. You want to form a higher low. right? Regardless if it's this one or you do take out the low here again and then move up. You want to form a higher low, because this could be a wave 2 or a wave B. So I understand that the bulls, want to start pushing up here in the next coming hours to take out 68.3k. And it is very, very possible. You just need to understand your invalidations, your risk management, and your entry points. And for me, I would really prefer for a new entry, just because we have the bearish options and we have the bullish options. I want to long as low as possible with a tight invalidation, understanding that things can break down, right? So the best option, as explained here for me, I don't have any other option for a long here, unless you're in the long still from that daily and haven't got stopped out. If I wanted to get into a fresh long, this is too aggressive to get into a long, this movement down, quick bounce, unless you were ready with the sniper trade at the point of control, which, you just need to be ready. But I would class this as an aggressive long entry, just because the drop is a bit of a falling knife. But you tap the point of control, you get above it, entry, stop loss, right? It's just the ones that are very active scalping and have experience. If I would come back to scalping and I was in front of the charts for a few hours and concentrate, right, on basically what we're looking at for these, sniper trades, I know I would be back rolling. I would be back rolling here, because it's a skill that you learn, right, with time. The main reason I don't scalp anymore really is because I don't have to, right? So, which is, I hope a lot of people do get to that stage, right? But it's a very aggressive scalp long. So, if you miss that level for that sniper long, it's a very, very hard. It's the same as this short here. Very hard short, very hard long. So, preferably I would have to wait for that low to be taken here to consider the long. And that's for a new long, of course. That's if you're not in a long from the daily level. So yeah, that would be the only long attempt that I would get into. Sweep up this low, and it might not happen, right? It might form a sideways correction and then moves up. But it's all about the entries, right? It's all about the management. I don't want to FOMO in. I know there's a trade around the corner. If I did long, so let's just imagine that the price moves up from here. And it's like, oh, I missed the long position. I didn't enter either here at the daily or anywhere here. Then I won't long, but I will be looking for the short. And I know what I need to look for the short trade setup. There would be a few scenarios naturally. The one that I explained before, which is the sideways WXY, which is finishing with a zigzag. So let's just imagine that the price, wants to push up from here and take out 68.3k plus, right? And say, oh, I missed the daily. I missed this wick low, which was incredibly hard to get into. And the price just moves up, and I missed the long. Let's just imagine that. Well, we need to create some short plans, because if I'm not in the long, don't worry, I'll be looking for a short, depending on how the price moves. So that first scenario that it was explained, you got a flat here in an ABC for wave W. Then you got, let's just say that if the X was here, then obviously a triangle can be a formation, right? Which ends up breaking down, as explained also at the beginning of the stream. But if the X is here for that flat, which I'm not a fan of, doesn't look great for this to be a 5 wave down. It looks very 3 wavy. So But the other scenario that does flat W, flat wave X, and you have a 3-wave move up in a zigzag here for wave Y, I need to see a wave 3 move to the upside. I need to see a blast off, regardless if that's the low or the low is formed here. It doesn't matter where the low is formed, because what I'm looking at is a big move up in a wave 3. I need that kind of third wave move, regardless if this is the low or the low is formed later on. It doesn't matter. I need this wave. I need the big move. So then I can label, okay, wave 1, wave 2, wherever that is, and then the wave 3, and then naturally that wave 4 and 5. The 5th wave is the one that I want to detect for the short at levels of confluence. Best zone of confluence right now naturally would be that range, mini range point of control at 68.9k. So I missed the long, say that I'm in your socks, and I missed the long. It's like, you know, it doesn't matter. I have a plan for a short here, but I need that third wave break, you know, move to the upside. Then the wave 4 and the wave 5 is going to be my golden ticket to look for the correction. Well, correction or impulse down, doesn't matter, but it would provide me a short entry, right? And what's most important about the move is that I need a wave 3 here. I don't know how it's going to develop, but I need that strong movement, regardless if it takes out this high or it stays shallow. Because once you get that move up with high volume, right, what you are looking to follow is that shallow correction wave 4, and the wave 5 is going to be the one, regardless if it's an SFP, regardless if it, you know, breaks out. Wave 4 is a little bit higher, and then you look for that point of control rejection. And when we consider the combination of Elliott wave theory, what we would be looking for is a ABC zigzag, okay, to the upside to finish your wave Y, because you have a flat, a possible flat here in wave X, and a zigzag move up for your wave Y. And a C wave of a zigzag needs to have a 5-wave move to the upside. So that's something that you know would be ready for, basically, right? Ready and waiting to see if that is the formation. When we consider WXY sideways correction targets, it's in between, you know, we already hit some, but in between the 0618 and the 1236. So this is the common area for a sideways WXY to finish. Naturally, the 618 has been tapped already, but this is just in case it forms a zigzag. So 1-to-1 and 1236, you know, is just a common zone, really. We would look for the confluence levels. The guidelines for me would be an SFP of this high, or the point of control of that mini range. So those are the guidelines that I would use to detect that, you know, 5th wave. Either this for an SFP, or if that 5th wave stretches and it breaks that high point of control at 68.9, would be the reaction zone for that short trade. And if this were to be the one, then of course, you know, this ain't no scalp. This is looking for, you know, the big drop down to finish all of this corrective move, right? Because naturally, if you have a WXY formation, then we're looking for the 1-2, 1-2, boom, wave 3 in the next coming days to get developed. I mean, this is it would be a potential swing short. It's a day trade entry, but with the potential of a swing short. So it's something that could get developed here between today and tomorrow. I know it's confusing, guys, and there's too many scenarios, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So that's one of them. Okay. You need to pay attention on how we move up here. bullish case scenario, that there is the simple ABC as well, which is a possibility where this is an A wave, this is a B wave in a flat, and then your C wave. The outcome would be the same. The outcome would be the same, of course, because regardless if this is a flat in wave W, you have another flat here, and you form that zigzag move up here. My bad, guys. I've been smoking my socks here. We were looking for a 3-wave move up here. Sorry, my bad. I'm not looking for a 5-waver, but in that C wave is where we would be looking for that 5-wave move. Okay, so in the case of the C wave, it would be a larger 5-wave move to the upside. So you know, if it is a zigzag, you want that 5-wave move in this third wave. But if it's an A, B flat, and then C wave, then it would just form a larger move to the upside, which it could actually even break this level, and it would actually go to higher levels, possibly, if it is a simple ABC. So it's all about detecting the 5th wave, regardless if it's a ABC here, or it's going to be a 1, 2, and the 3rd wave, if we break out here in the next coming hours, like explosively, you're taking out this high and you're even crossing the point of control of this mini range, then what we're looking at is an impulse, right? The 3rd wave is getting developed. It's when you form that 4th wave that the 5th wave is going to be interesting to look for shorts. Kind of double top from the 3rd wave. I mean, we would have to look for levels of resistance all the way up here, which we might have. We'll go through that in the next coming minutes. But if it's going to be a shallow zigzag, so for this scenario it would be an ABC, and for this scenario it would be the WXY. But it's all about detect, you know, if we form a move up like this, boom, 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 bang, bang, right, that's already getting exhausted. You got your 3rd wave here, so that would be your ABC for the WXY, right? It's all about how do we get up here. Does it aggressively break out in a wave 3, or does it move up here into this territory, already forming the 5-wave move here to the upside in this leg? That's when the shorts will look attractive. If you blast off with high volume here on the next leg up, then shorts will not be looking attractive at all. You'll have to wait for that wave 4 and 5 to be developed. Okay, it's just creating a little bit of a plan here to what it's not easy at the moment, just because we have multiple scenarios with the information that we have. Okay, information as it is developed gets easy, then it might get hard, then it gets easier because you're running out of scenarios and you know that you have 1 or 2 left. You know, when I do explain the long position from the daily level today, that's easy because you know, if this is an impulse, then we're looking for an ABC flat. You moved up here in a 3-wave structure as well. 1, 2, 3. If this would have created you know, this pullback would have formed a shallow correction and taken out the high again, then it turns into a 5-wave structure. As the price moved down here, right, without taking out the high again, this is a 3-wave move to the upside. And if you have a 3-wave move to the upside and a 3-wave down, you know, the flat is your option to look for a long position down here. So that this is why today's long position at the daily was it was relatively easy for that bounce, regardless if it was, you know, a sniper trade or you created the choppiness. You just got another long entry here and that's it. But because we got this bounce and we basically forming a little bit of a rangy structure. Unfortunately, the scenarios that we have left are, there is a few scenarios, and inside of this territory right now, it's very, very difficult for either a short or a long. You want to think outside of the box here, because a triangle could be on the formation to then break down, or this could be the low and you taking out the highs later on, right? In either a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or either in an A, B, C, and then move down. So the shorting scenarios, they are more attractive for me after taking out this high or hitting the point of control. Those are going to be my guidelines for the sniper trade, and it all really depends on how we get up there. So I don't have any local short interest here, unless you want to attempt the triangle formation, which is looking for that E wave, A, B, C, D, E. I mean, yeah, it would be a very, very dodgy triangle, I have to say. Very, very dodgy small triangle in a running triangle here. I'm not a fan of that. So yeah, best for shorts is up here, depending on how we get up there. And for new longs, I have to say, yeah, with this information, it's not nice. It would have been best to consider an ABC here, sweep up the low, and then move. This was a very, very difficult quick long to be taken at the point of control. It is aggressive. Yeah, it's just not great where we at for any new longs or shorts. I have to say the day has been made with that long entry, and I don't have any quick longs or shorts locally. We would have to get more information depending on how we get up here to consider that short, which is going to take a few hours naturally. And then the long setups daily was the long, which is recommended to leave some open, because if this is a wave 1 or A, and that's a wave 2 or B, it's you got a wave 1 and 2 here, and then now 3 wants to get the breakout. It's one of those longs that you want to leave some open, understanding the bullish outcome. The bullish outcome today was explained in the trading community. So the long trade is the same one. The long trade is the same regardless if it's going to be ending up bearish or bullish. This is the problem right now which I'm facing with you guys in the stream, because you might think, well, you don't know if it's going to be bullish or bearish, right? Is this bounce going to be shallow, we form a sideways WXY, or is it going to be a wave 1 or A, and this is an ABC flat, and we take out 68.4k, right? And that's the main, also the main second target. So you can see I don't know which one is going to play out. Even now at this time, I don't know which one is going to play out, but the clearest long that we had today was to get into this one, and leave some open in that case, just in case we do actually take out the highs, which is very possibly something that could happen. So still remaining partially in that long, because something that could definitely happen. So yeah, what can we say? It's just not an interesting, realizing the bullish case that breaks out to the highs, and realizing the bearish option here with the new information that we had today. So no local high probability setups for me. Not even, not even a short here. Volume increasing. Well, I'm not sure if it's increasing that much. It is increasing a little bit. But yeah, there's no sniper shorts here for me. Just understanding that, if this is the low of the, wave 2 or wave B, that's a wave 1, wave 2. Confusing wave 2, wave 3 is going to end up breaking out pretty aggressively. Where I would be interested in is after this high volume move. I don't have any quick SFPs at the moment. This would have to form a wave 4 and a wave 5. That's when I want to be, I want to enter the wave 5 in this case for that swing failure pattern. It needs to form this little correction to get into the wave 5 at levels of confluence. In that case, it would be 68.9. If this were to continue rolling here, pumping right now, I don't have any short to take, because what I want to see is that 4 and then 5 and then after the stop of the third wave, right? This is the pump that I want to short. So yeah, there's no quick short trade here. Anyway, some people were actually saying inside of the stream when we started that they actually jumped into that long trading setup, and congratulations for that. That was mentioned inside of the trading community today, and absolutely awesome, guys. If you are not inside of the trading community, make sure to send me a DM. I'm not sure what you're waiting for, because this was the only main trade of the day, and we don't need to take 10 trades a day. We need to take the good trades, right? So we can actually profit from the market, right? So this was the main trade, long from the daily, and it's the one that is playing out. Information will evolve as explained throughout the next coming hours, and we will have something ready between today and tomorrow on the next trading setup that either myself or Devils is going to take, right? Ready for the setups. And that is in the trading community, guys, and it's super simple to join. Not sure why you're waiting. Send me the word access to the Telegram. You got personal Telegram here. If you sign up throughout one of the affiliate links, you can get a few months for free, guys. Okay, minimum deposit for your own trading, and get into these positions as myself and Devils are getting into. All right, creating the plans, giving the information. It's a open community, so you can tag us, ask us questions, and that's oil dump a lot. Oil is dumping. Let's take a look at oil. Why not? Oil pumping, you mean, right? Oil is pumping. I wouldn't see a reason, unless the stretch is open again. I wouldn't see a main reason why oil would dump. It's not dumping. Oil dump a lot. Legends, 300 like is the goal. Let's take a look at how many likes we do have here. Much love to everybody. Over 400 people watching. Much appreciated. 126 likes. Let's do a round the table here and see if we can get to 150 likes at least in the next 10 seconds, guys. Let me just stand up, get a drink of water, go around the table and come back. Hopefully we'll be at 150 likes. I'm going to go through the comment section here very, very quickly. Once I come back, going around the table and getting a sip of water. Right. Okay. I don't fancy this, I have to say. Same inside of the trading community. I said I'm not interested in a short here, guys, and the price dumped. But same as here, I'm not interested in this short. But it could kind of double top here locally and get a drop. It's just not a trade for me. It's not a trade for me, if I'm honest here. Let's go through the comment section. Say hello to the beautiful community. Hope you do enjoy the education and how we create the plans and look for the setups, guys. Right? Trading is it's difficult, right? Trading is difficult, and we try and create the best plans and the best trades. Sometimes we get trades in the day, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we need to remain a little bit more patient for clarity, and it's just how it goes with trading, right? So much love to everybody. President of Iran said ready to end the war. I'm not sure if this is true. Andy, it's the first time I have smelly fingers from the scalp long this morning with Devilt. First time I have smelly fingers. Okay. Well, having smelly fingers is actually trying to catch, right, the bottom, trying to catch the falling knife, right, and getting stopped out many times on the attempts, right? But if you attempted it and you succeeded at the daily level, then you don't have smelly fingers. You're doing okay. I mean, if you do try and catch the bottom, if you have a level as a guideline, guys, this is the importance about these levels that we talk about on the chart, on how you approach them. It's a guideline. You do not long beneath the level, you long on top of the level, so you can have a stop loss beneath the tap. Okay, you long on the bounce, not against the bounce. Once you tap and get a move up, you have a few minutes to enter the long, right? Or seconds, maybe in that case. You can long here, you can long here, you can long here, right? The more you take to take that long position, the larger the stop loss is going to be. But sometimes it doesn't matter, because if price wants to move up, right, it's just a sniper trade. You know, imagine maybe some people got into this long exactly at the low and their stop loss looks like this, right? Imagine getting into a long on the daily, you know, and exactly at the daily. It's very hard, of course, you know. So usually you would long a little bit later, unless you're in front of the chart and you're an absolute sniper. Then you're making a 5-to-1, a 10-to-1 risk reward. You know, it's sniper trading is really lucrative just because of the risk management and the risk to reward. So I mean, that was the main long trade setup that we had today. This is Andy Bitcoin. Yes, it is. I have got power with Devilt. He's in the morning update as well on the live stream. Okay, combined forces, Mind Pillar Markets. We've rebranded, and I've got Devilt on board because we can push out more content. He's a great coach. Met Devilt a few years ago. He's been super active. We've been doing live streams together and actually giving, you know, a lot of support to each other. So Devilt's on board right now. He does the morning, I do the evenings. The channel has a new name. It does. I still like 69k, says Divine Hood, Coinbase point of control and the pitchfork resistance. Man, I learned how to use pitchfork a long time ago. And I never personally used it, just because it doesn't combine with my way of trading. But that's interesting. Still like 69k Coinbase point of control and the pitchfork resistance. Coinbase point of control, that is literally at 69k. That's the level that we do have there. Yeah, basically 69,000. Pitchfork, depending on where you're getting the pitchfork. But man, if you ask me about pitchfork, I don't even remember how to use pitchfork. I can't even remember where it is. That's how. There it is. That might be the pitchfork that you were talking about. Probably center of the pitchfork into that 69k. But anyway, that's me. That's you could see that I don't use the pitchfork. Why ICP is so strong? You must be joking. Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. ¿Hablas español, Carlitos? Sí, señor. Sí, señor. Devil's birthday tomorrow. It is Devil's birthday tomorrow. So happy birthday to Devil. That will be tomorrow, of course. He'll be doing a birthday stream, very likely. I use them with great success. Divine Hood, that is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. There's so many different tools and indicators you can use in trading. And I've literally stuck to the confluence levels. A lot of Fibonacci, Elliott wave, as you know. And basically reaction, SFP, swing failure patterns. We love swing failure patterns, but I don't have much stuff on the chart. It's usually pretty blank, and we kind of draw the possibilities on how the price could move. But I guess that's what happens with, at least in my case, you know, with experience, I've really deleted so many things that I end up not using. Sometimes combining a lot of things, of course, can give you that extra confluence, as you mentioned with that pitchfork. Shout out to all the Adios. Absolutely awesome. Keep it pumping, says A Trader Legend. So close to 200 likes. Let's get that like button smashed, guys. Much love to everybody. A little bit of comment section, a bit of Q&A at the moment. Legend, so close yeah, it's going to be interesting. The triangle formation here for the bearish cases. Ideally, it does extend a little bit longer. So a bit of a if we were, let's just imagine that we do not take out this 68k and the price moves down here and then moves up again. Okay, that is the moment that I would, you know, consider the triangle. If you do form a little bit of a lower high, higher low, and it continues ranging here between today and tomorrow, then it could be looking a bit bearish. We could be very much getting ready for that E-wave formation. I mean, there is a problem with this triangle, and the situation is that wave X can finish here or finishes here. And obviously if it finishes here, we do have a running triangle potential, A, B, C, D, E, and then you form a lower high, and that's the one that, you know, basically forms a lower high and you break down. That's if your wave X finishes here. It would be a running triangle where your B wave takes out the E wave. But for me to get into a triangle, it would have to be a little bit obvious that you are squeezing into a triangle. So that would be your wave W, your wave X, and a running triangle, and your wave Y. Finish your A, B, C, D, E. They're not. It will be easy if it looks easy. Then of course you have the other triangle. Of course, that's if your wave X finishes here. Not to bring confidence on that triangle, it would have to be A, B, C, D, E, and have insane bearish CVD divergence throughout these lower highs. So if you were to have, you know, massive higher highs on the CVD and lower highs right there, then it could, you know, then it could look pretty interesting for that short. We don't have massive bearish CVD divergence from those highs, as you can see. We actually have bullish CVDs. There's bullish CVD divergence building up here. We got shorts entering on Bybit like crazy at the moment, so that's not helping for the bearish case. Lots of shorts entering here at the high. 4.6 million here entering at the high. That's not going to help. You've got bullish CVD divergence on Bybit, which is the yellow here. As you can see, lower lows on CVD. People trying to short here the highs of the range, which I don't like this short, me personally. We've got bullish CVDs on the formation right now, which would be taking the local highs again. So yeah, this has to be something pretty obvious for the next coming hours. You know, we would have to get a pretty clear triangle between today and tomorrow to consider that WXY and maybe bearish CVD divergence from the next local lower highs that are formed in you know, between today and tomorrow, to say, right, this does actually look good now for a sideways WXY ending in a triangle and then moving down, right? This would be basically this scenario right over here. When we consider Elliott wave theory, right, one of those complex, you got a flat, which we do have. This is the bullish WXY, but you have a flat in wave W, which we can label a wave X, either being a zigzag or a flat, and then forming that triangle. This is a bullish one naturally, which would end up breaking up after that E wave. This one would still have to, it would still have to form in the next coming hours between today and tomorrow. So yeah, it's something that we might talk about in the trading community if it does develop, and we would consider that trading plan in the community. Okay, because it might be late tonight, it might be early tomorrow morning, and it might be something that we can talk about on the stream tomorrow if it does come to fruition. But make no mistake, the trading plan will be created inside of the trading community. So if you're not in already, I'm not sure what you're waiting for, guys, because today we had a very, very successful it's been the main long setup that, well, you know, was shared from myself. Devil already talked about that daily level. I was just looking at the possibilities of the bounce. Could be a shallow bounce. We want to take some profits on that bounce into the 67k region, just in case it turns into a bearish lower high. And you know, we want to leave some open because it does have the chance to be a wave 2 or a wave B. So it's still remaining in that long position, because who knows, we might just break out here, and you know, would be happy to still maintain some of that trade open naturally if we do end up breaking up very aggressively. So we got some levels and we got some scenarios here, but I would be cautious, guys, you know, because if this turns out to be a wave 1 or a wave 2 or a wave A and a wave B, or a wave B, sorry, you got this wave 1, wave 2. If this is another wave 1 and you correct down here, it could be a double 1-2. And if you have a double 1-2 here, then you know, the wave 3 could really snap out. It could really break out here with power. So, and then we like talking about these levels for the short, and they're not going to be relevant anymore if you break out with high volume, because, you know, as explained, we need the wave 3 coming into the resistance and stopping before we hit the resistance. We need that wave 4, and wave 5 is the one that we want to short. So if you break out with high volume, yeah, you know, I will not have a short to get into. Of course, an SFP is an SFP at the end of the day, right? Even though you don't get that choppiness, that wave 4 and 5, you know, you might just tap the level and get a rejection. So it always becomes an aggressive entry regardless of the 4 and 5. But waiting for the 4 and 5 is naturally better beneath the level of resistance. You get that wave 4, and then the wave 5 is the one that usually brings that good setup. But I mean, it could pump with high volume and then, you know, really reject without any 4-5s. You know, just take them into consideration for as guidelines for the sniper shorts. But anyway, let's go through comment section, continue here a little bit more. What is going on? Strong chance of another red month. Oh yeah, we got today we got the monthly candle closing, which is interesting. And we have literally we are slightly in the green, if I'm not mistaken. And maybe the bulls want to push to close this green candle today, right? we've literally been trading in the last couple of days at the monthly open. Basically, we've basically been trading at the monthly open here for the last couple of days, and because today we closed the candle, there could be a little bit of volatility either up or down. But yeah, we got the monthly close today, which is it is interesting. I have to say, we were discussing this yesterday. Somebody mentioned, can you take a look at the monthly chart? And it is true that we've had 5 consecutive months in the red, and we haven't seen that very often in the bear markets for Bitcoin. The only moment we had 6 consecutive red candles was in the bear market of 2018, and after that, after 6 months in the red, we got a pretty decent push up. So there was 3 right over here, 3 here, so no 5 red months, only 6, well 6 here in this 2018, and I think there was on another chart we had 5 or 6 somewhere here. But I think we've never seen 7 red months for the price of Bitcoin in its history, consecutive ones, that is. So we're already in the 6th one. So naturally, with that data that we have from the price of Bitcoin in the last 15 years, there's never been 7 red months, right? Consecutive red months throughout the last 10 years, let's say. So that gives you a little bit of, it's probably time for a bounce. Will it be April in the green? Well, it might be March actually, because we are in the green and we only have a few hours for the monthly candle to close. But it just makes you feel that, with the probabilities, right? You understand that either March, April is very, very likely going to close in the green. So if we end up closing in the red, let's just say that we get a massive dump in the next coming hours, right? And it ends up closing red. We will have 6 consecutive red candles. The only time that happened was here in 2018 bear market, which was followed by a few green monthly candles. So naturally, I'm very interested in longs, swing longs, but we would have to take out 60k. If we were to take out 60k, right, maybe it closes red and then we end up, next month creates a dump in April. The probabilities in having 7 consecutive red candles is very, very low, because it's literally never happened in the history of Bitcoin, right? Maybe in the first year when it was created, right, when it was at 1 cent or 2 cents, but we ain't going down, we ain't going that far. But there's a massive supply zone here, right? Demand zone, naturally, supply turning into demand. Looking for swing longs after taking out 60k. If we do take out 60k in April, we will have some swing long plans down here. We do have them. We don't need to talk about them right now, because once we go close to 60k, we'll be getting ready for the swing long plans inside of the trading community or on YouTube, of course. If we're not on YouTube, we're inside the trading community, where you can always ask questions to myself or Devil, okay? Let's go through the comment section. Maybe we only wick on April. Yeah, very true. That's interesting. Why does my candle say we're close to 66732? Maybe you're using another exchange, but maybe we only wick on April. So that would make sense, where April only wicks down, right? It ends up being red, but man, I would confidently say that we would create a wick here beneath 60k in April. I'm looking for the high 50k levels to bounce, so there could be a decent swing long here between April and May, which makes sense here. because there's no, I mean, let's check this properly. We did on the other stream, but man, I think there was only 2000 and, I mean, yeah, not even going back here to 2010. I mean, it was only up from there. 2010 when Bitcoin was 1 cent, guys. Absolutely insane. Couple of cents a Bitcoin. 16 years ago. Who would have said? Only 5 red candles here in 2011. Here we had a bit of a mix. Yeah, the only moment, yeah, we've never seen 7 red candles. 7 monthly red candles in the history of Bitcoin. So we are at the 5th one already. So the probabilities based on history here in the bear market, either maybe March it does end up being green, so that would obviously break the consecutive monthly red candles, but you would expect March, April to be green. So if you do end up red this month, which we're only $1,000 away, not even that, from the open. If we end up dumping in April, holy smokes, the probabilities of April closing green is very, very high. So looking for swing longs, which is at a great supply zone, right? Demand, I would expect some relief. Anyway, just an interesting take based on the monthly candles. How do you know when to move support and resistance? Move support and resistance, not move it. I'm not sure if I understand that. If it closes green the way it is, it looks bearish AF still. Absolutely. I mean, that would break, even though this 5 red candles and this one, the 6th one, being green, that means that you could still have a few red candles here the next few months. It's just breaking the consecutive red candles. Okay. We've never seen 7 red candles, so if this one were to be red, then we would expect maybe the 7th candle to only wick down and close in the green. That's April. But yeah, if this does close green, then that just breaks the probabilities. Then the next few months could be red, right? You've already got 1 green candle in the middle here. So yeah, even though if this closed green, you do have a massive wick of a rejection, monthly rejection. Peace deal negotiations and oil dropped hard. So if we get this continuation, I see some relief rally. Absolutely awesome. Why do you like chart on Coinbase if Binance has the biggest volume and Bybit the second? How about Coinbase? The thing about Coinbase, it does work better for Elliott wave theory, just because futures naturally, as it's leveraged, right? You do have more wicks, a bit of more spikes in volume. It just helps better. I do consider Bybit a lot for volume profile. So I do use Bybit a lot as well for volume profile. Matter of fact, last week, or probably wasn't last week, it was it was last week actually, we considered a long trade setup based on the Bybit range point of control, because the Coinbase range point of control was at 69k. However, the Bybit one was at 68k. So there was a long setup that was provided here. The previous Sunday, so yeah, last week's Sunday, we did talk about a long setup here inside of the trading community based on, the Elliott wave theory as well, but also based on the Bybit point of control. Okay, at this was the 23rd of March, was a scenario that we did mention here for a long setup inside of the trading community, which was this one right over here. We had a few scenarios, just so you know. We're not fibbing here, we're not making things up. We had this one, you know, this is the Bybit point of control in Binance. So I do consider it for volume profile, but analyzing, you just have more wicks and it can be a little bit more unreliable when you do Elliott wave theory. And volume spikes, you have local volume spikes, which doesn't help when you do Elliott wave theory. But we were ready on a few scenarios here for that, you know, Bybit point of control. You know, either here or either here. We did get a significant move up here on the Monday. We were ready for that Bybit point of control to get the reaction, which was this zone over here. And, you know, we did get a significant bounce on the Monday, which was planned inside of the trading community. Anyway, your question, you know, for volume profile, I like to use Bybit. That's where we are getting the resistance actually today. Right, well, in the last couple of days, we've been rejecting at the point of control where we did find support last week. We're tapping, as explained today. You know, there is that bullish case. I'm not a fan here of shorting. You know, this could really very much be a wave 1 or wave B, A, B, C flat for a wave B, wave 2, 1, 2, boom. You know, this ends up breaking out. So there's no quick shorts to be taken unless you can find a 5-wave move up. So we need the 4th wave at some point, regardless if it's going to be here or if it's going to be all the way up here, right? Or it might be all the way up here. You know, I don't know. I need the 4th wave after a high volume breakout to consider the short on the 5th wave. The 5th wave is the one that I want to short. So there's no quick shorts here to be taken. You know, if you move up, you break up, high volume, let it go, right? So for the moment, there's just no short trades to be taken. Coinbase users are usually pros and institutions. Well, are you calling me a pro? I would say I know my stuff. I don't like to brag about my trading. I just don't like people that brag about trading. So I try to keep myself humble, natural, and you know, I do okay for myself with trading. I don't like bragging about it. That's why you have a very important indicator called Coinbase Premium Index. Redhead Allen. I mean, Coinbase is the largest exchange in US, right? And US has the largest market. So it's just, I don't, you know, for Elliott wave theory, and I don't trust very much the volumes that you get on the lower time frames. You get significant spikes on Binance and Bybit. It's kind of a little bit unreliable, and Coinbase Spot is very reliable. It gives you legit volume, but for volume profiles, I like Bybit and Binance. It's very, very good. Our footprint chart, is it free? Your footprint chart, is it free? No, this is EXO chart. So there, you know, there we had it. We had bearish CVD divergence, right? We got Bybit shorts entering here, which are getting, they, you know, with bullish CVDs, yeah, they're not happy at the moment. We were just taking out that high, so there's very, very aggressive SFP. I'm not too interested in this SFP, if I'm honest with you. We're breaking out big volume. You know, you have the danger here of a 1, 2, 3. If we were to form a shallow range here, then I would consider the double top or the volume profile SFP. Then I would consider this. If the moment we range, this is an aggressive SFP. I'm personally not interested in this. Well, if you are happy to take it, just be defensive. But if we were to form a shallow range, to form a 1, 2, 3, 4, not overlapping this pivot, then I would consider then either the double top or you know, takeout of this high volume node at 68.9k, which is the Coinbase point of control. After that shallow range on Coinbase, we do have that point of control at almost 69k, which is literally the same point of control of that mini range. Basically, it's at the same level. That's when I will be interested. You know, if I'm awake, well, we'll create the plan inside of the trading community. If we do get that shallow rangy structure here, kind of a fake SFP. It needs to be shallow though, then the short here could be interesting, either double top or this pivot. Right now it's aggressive, just understanding that you might, you know, volume is increasing, you know, this wave 3 could maybe still, you know, push up a little bit more. So yeah, but see how CVD helped here very, very much as well, based on not taking this short trade, right? Because you might think we're forming an SFP here, right? Which is, you know, you're taking out the pivot high, you rejecting from it. This is why not every high is a good SFP. When we do take a look at this rejection from this pivot, you might think, well, this is going to be a local double top, right? We're getting a reaction, right? We're looking for that to correct down. However, there was a lot of shorts entering right there. I don't know why, but we just decided to look at order flow, and we had 4.6 million shorts entering here on Bybit, exactly at 67.8k, which was creating those bullish CVD divergence. You can see the lower lows in the yellow here. Big shorts entering right there at 67.8k. They're naturally getting, you know, stopped out, I would assume, with that push up, extra push up here. Anyway, I would really class this as an aggressive swing failure pattern. It is an aggressive one. I wouldn't be too happy with this short. But I mean, anyway, if you were to attempt it, now this could be, I mean, with the other scenario that we mentioned, this could be a 3-wave move up, a zigzag. You just need to manage risk, but you would say it could be it is a kind of a valid entry, just because of the size of the stop loss. If you know, wanted to sniper that short, you know, you could end up moving down much lower. One, two, three, four, five. I mean, you do have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It would be valid based on the Elliott wave theory as well from this move. So you do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sharp correction, which I didn't like too much. And then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So it does make sense based on Elliott wave theory that this could be the end of the 5th wave, very, very locally here, right? Looking at the 5-minute, which could bring that movement down to this order block zone. I mean, the entry is not bad, right? And the risk management is not bad. So I would have to say it would be a valid entry and a valid stop loss here. Whoever got into the long, I think it's not a bad idea to collect some profits from that long trade, actually, because it could reject here. Whoever entered into that long, this was a main TP. This was TP2 basically from the long trade setup that was mentioned inside of the community today. It was a possibility to get all the way up there. What a nice bounce on that daily. Daily level was hit. I mean, the movement up has been right now about $2,500, which is it's good for very, it's a decent move. $2,500, decent move for a long setup. This was the main long setup of the day inside of the community. So as we've hit those highs, you want to collect a little bit more of the profits, maybe leave a little bit open, because who knows, this might be the low, right? And this ends up being more bullish than we thought. But anyway, profits have been taken from that long trade, scratching a little bit more. Stopped out again, seems like it wants to go higher. Yeah, bull moon, send it. Full moon, we got full moon, I think, in the next, yeah, basically. High levy shorts wrecked, pullback coming now. If I attempted that short, I would be managing risk quite a lot. Another bullish scenario is you have this movement to the upside from this low being either the 1 or A, but if it were to be very, very bullish, say wave 1, A, B, C flat, wave 2, and if you do create a corrective move here in the next coming hours, you could have a 1, 2, 1, 2. If this ends up being corrective, then it could be more bullish than we thought, right? Double 1, 2, snap and break in a wave 3. That could go to much higher levels. So yeah, not now 3. This wave 3, unless we formed a shallow sideways corrective move. I mean, if we are labeling this as a wave 3, there is a problem. It's actually pretty, it's not common wave 3 targets. We would have to use the extension here from wave 1 to the end of wave 2, and it's only ever so slightly longer than the wave 1, right? It's not common wave 3 target is the 1.618. So unless we formed a very, very shallow correction here without overlapping this pivot, and it forms a very sideways rangy structure without overlapping this pivot, I would consider maybe a 5-wave move up here. But you would have to have a shallow correction without overlapping this pivot, and then this one would look interesting to look for shorts. And I think the best level overall would be that range point of control here at 68.9k. The moment you move down and you overlap this pivot, if this turns out to be a corrective move down, you have a 3-wave down and then you overlap, then this could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And then, wave 3 later on. But I have to say, this short was not a bad execution, I have to say. You could very much have executed that sniper short. Naturally, if you come down a few $100, I would say, don't get into the short, right? Unless you snipe at that SFP. If we were to roll down very aggressively in the coming hours, could this be the high? I have to say, could this be the high of this range? And it could. I mean, we were discussing this at the beginning of the stream. Valid, I have to say, it is a valid SFP, because you can manage risk very, very well on this trade. And that's considering it has been very, very quick, but you have a flat NW, a possible flat in wave X, and this is the bearish case, and a zigzag move up in a wave Y, which you kind of do have here. It's been relatively quick. You got the move up, correction, and another move up that has technically, you know, has technically a 5-wave move, as you can see, right? From that recent low, it does have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I mean, technically speaking, this does have the potential of being the high of a WXY, and you know, things like really get messy in the next coming hours. So it was a valid sniper short. I didn't like it. I didn't enter, but based on very good risk management, you know, why not take it, right? If you just lower risk if it looks a little bit too aggressive. But when we talk about potential, you know, this has the potential of being the high if we consider this WXY. Flat W, flat X, zigzag Y, relatively quick. It does have the potential, I have to say. I didn't take it, guys. I didn't take it, but it was valid risk management. You know, you can manage risk like a beast here. You don't need to go too crazy, right? Stay in your 1% margin, right, of trading capital. You know, you might gain 3-4%, which is more than enough when we consider a day trade. But yeah, let's leave it like it does have the potential of being the high if this were to be the correct count. Just because you can count 5 up, correction, which I'm not. It doesn't look great, and a 5 up here. There's actually a 5-wave move up here. So it does have the potential of being a finished zigzag. Let's go through the comment section. Stop loss in profit now, says Distance Music. Taking the short trade. I took this short from 68.2. Hi all, mate, long or short? Well, this was it was an aggressive entry, I have to say. But if you ask me, ideally for this short entry, you short on the rejection of the high. If it drops $300-400, you're entering a little bit late, right? There's I would rather attempt a short like this, right, than rather attempting a short entry, down here where the stop loss is getting wider right now. So you get the deal, right? It doesn't matter if you haven't entered. There's another trade around the corner. Look at that wick on 30 minutes. The wick on the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, major rejection wick, I have to say. 67.7, it could bounce up again. 67.7, 67.7. I mean, we do have the resistance support flip, right? We've found support here. I mean, resistance. You could get a reactionary bounce. Says Suzanne. What about the liquidations? I like the liquidation that we do have at 72k. This is a lot of liquidity up there, which is disturbing. This is why I'm giving overall the higher time frame bulls a chance. There is a higher time frame bullish case scenario that does take out $72,000 potentially, in the next coming days, give or take 1 or 2 weeks. With the 5-wave down, A, B, C flat here, which you're forming a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, boom, break in a wave 3, and then 4-5, 4-5, right? And yeah, it would be disturbing, but I do see it possible. It is possible considering the huge amount of liquidity that there is up here. There is insane amount of liquidity at 72k plus. And it would be quite easy, right, for the bears, for the trend line traders, right, where we have broken the classic higher low, right? Well, they're in big trouble already, right? People that are shorting the bear flag on the breakout, they're wishing they never you know, learned this strategy of shorting here on the breakout, right, of the bear flag, because they're not having a good time right now, right? Whoever shorted here has a swing, and you know, maybe stop loss. I don't know where their stop loss is going to be, but you know, if you're targeting the lows here, yeah, this ain't good. And the liquidity that there is right now here is insane. So yeah, you know, yeah, consider the bullish. I consider the bullish scenarios locally. The most bullish one would be that ending diagonal here, which is, you know, ending diagonal, relatively quick ABC down here, leading diagonal, that is, sorry, in a wave 1 or wave 8. I don't know, man, but you know, when you do have that sharp correction down into the value area low, into the golden pocket, you know, it's not a bad idea considering the possible, you know, swing longs. Golden pocket from the low to the high, value area low of the entire range of the last 8 weeks. You know, this is big support, and this is why, you know, we're holding this support in the last few days. I don't like this leading diagonal for the bullish case, but we consider it for sure. We do consider it because it's not an invalidation. It's a valid set. It's a valid pattern. I prefer either the double 1-2, so finished correction here, 1-2, 1-2, and you know, we look for a lower high, but it's not. Yeah. Or the ABC flat, which would be pretty nice from when we think about the psychology here. This would be the ideal scenario, right, where people are becoming very bearish and do call for 60k. Then we get a pump, you know, that actually people flip a little bit bullish, but it would only be a liquidity grab. So not breaking down, not breaking up, you know, ending, you know, with a bear market continuation. I would be looking for swing shorts at 72k zone, without a doubt. If we do get up there, without a doubt, I will be ready to look for shorts up here as a swing. But happy in my swing short. Hopefully we do not get up there, because I'm already in a swing short. So sapient chart looking bullish, right? If it rejects at 67.7, then it's bearish or just a range bearish. 67 point. Yeah, I mean, no, it doesn't have to be bearish if we lose this level. It's all about detecting if this movement down is going to be corrective. So if we fail to move, the hard invalidation is taking out this low. You could still form a 1-2, 1-2 in the bullish case. But this does have the potential of being the high of this range, as explained in today's well, it would have been nice to get a little bit more of a 3 wavy move, but it's been relatively sharp, but it does have a chance to be a W, wave X, and a zigzag up in wave Y. There is a chance that that could be the high of this range, and we could be coming down to the lows in the coming days. So naturally, the best option would have been that swing failure pattern as an entry. This would have been the best option for the entry point. And you know, as explained, you don't need to go in crazy with this short. I mean, this has the potential of coming down to 65k. It has the potential, right? It has the potential. Doesn't mean it has to happen, because we got 1-2-1-2 potential, right? Bullish scenario. But the entry and the risk management here is very, very acceptable. To take into consideration the flat in wave W, flat in wave X, quick zigzag in wave Y. Legends, it's been a pleasure. Yeah, Y is just a bit short, but still valid. Short in time compared to wave W. There we go. We got the master himself saying that here in the comment section. Devil, much love to you, my man. Thanks for joining the stream. A bit of a sniper, was not ready for this sniper short, but it's a valid, very valid entry. It does have a possibility of rolling down in the next coming hours in between today and tomorrow very aggressively. Bullish invalidation. I mean, bullish invalidation locally would be this higher low, because a double 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, boom, right, is very much possible. If this ends up being a choppy, rangy correction in between today and tomorrow, then we could actually see double 1-2s building up, but we need that information. But yeah, it's possible. As Devil said, you know, this zigzag for wave Y has been quite quick when you compare wave W, right? This is extremely long, right, for a flat compared to the zigzag up here in the wave Y. So yeah. All right, Benagi. I got a surprise guest. He's the best technical analyst and trader here in the world, guys, and I need to present. Say hello.
Hello.
Where's Bitcoin going? Up or down? Up or down?
Up.
Up. He says it's going up, so we need to listen to this guy, huh? Okay, see. Venga, haz algo. Take the chocolate. Take it with you. All right, legends. Not much more. Bye. Not much more has to be discussed. We'll be providing the updates. Devil as well. He said Mateo. He said we are going up, so I'm not too sure. A little bit of a tricky one. After claiming these highs, not sure if I would listen to him. Anyway, much love to everybody. Thank you very much for joining the stream today. And the little guy, he's my nephew. He's not my son, he's my nephew. So future YouTuber, future trader, hopefully. I will be teaching him without a doubt. Para abajo. Yeah, it seems like. So anyway, congrats for anybody that took that SFP short. I mean, I have to say, you don't need to go too crazy. I wasn't too confident on this, but it was a valid, you know, a major high is always a valid entry for an SFP if it does SFP. So whoever took the short, absolutely awesome. There's opportunities every single day. Today, mainly long position here. This was a valid short. There will be another trade around the corner in between today and tomorrow. And we will be updating the trading community with the possible scenarios Much love. If you're not in the trading community, shoot me a DM right away. It's the first link down below. You get a few months for free if you sign up throughout one of the affiliates, Bluffin, 2bit. You got great bonuses on all of them eventually when you use the link down below in the description, guys. Much love. Thank you for joining. If I don't see you later tomorrow, I will see you in the trading community. Okay, guys? Much love. Smash up the like if you do enjoy the content. See you in the next one.